It's the Wrestling Caucus. I'm Peter A.
I'm Smiley Arriaga.
And we're back this month to talk about a very special show, Backlash. And I know what some of you are thinking. Backlash? Special show? No, but this year, they were over in Puerto Rico. This is the first show WWE was at since New Year's Revolution 2005. The Elimination Chamber that year was very memorable and very, very good. I would go out of your way to watch that, but that whole show was horrible. But Backlash in Puerto Rico this year, unbelievable. One of the best WWE shows I've seen in a while. It was outstanding from every aspect. The crowds, all the matches, everybody did very well. Even the matches I thought were whatever, they still worked hard, and the crowd was into it. And just from a fan reaction standpoint, it was just everybody was on their A game, literally. Even Bad Bunny, celebrity wrestlers, it's hit and miss, but he hit. He was phenomenal. But before we talk about Backlash, there's a few other things I want to discuss, and I want you to get your thoughts on. AEW All In, Part 2, Wembley Stadium this August. Now, without announcing any matches, there's no card. There's not a lot of details about this show, but so far, they have sold close to, according to Tony Khan, 60,000 some odd tickets for a 90,000 seat venue with no card. And this is not WWE. This is AEW. What do you think of all this?
Well, it could be a possibility that Punk might be coming back, because there is a lot of rumbles about that.
Yeah.
Despite whatever people want to think, I definitely feel like Punk's name contributes to that. But just like the Fatal 4-Way is not happening at All In, right? That's happening at Double or Nothing.
No, yeah. That's not going to happen at Wembley.
I'm looking forward to seeing who MJF is going to wrestle. But, I'm not surprised. Look, despite, any shortcomings AEW might have, when it comes to big shows, they're good at getting excitement. People get excited for their big shows. So that's not really that surprising to me. But that's, I wish I could be there. I do. I want to see if Punk's going to come back, and I want to see who MJF's going to wrestle.
Yeah, so. I think I think AEW is going to put out all the stops. If CM Punk is coming back, I have a feeling that he will be back in AEW soon. I think whoever he's going to face, that's going to be interesting. I think that having Kenny Omega face somebody huge, having another international star there, having maybe Pac, it's going to be something. And with having All Out right next to it, that's also interesting too. And I think all in all, it seems that without a card being announced, without anything being announced, the fact that AEW was able to sell this many tickets is a testament to, it means that, it's obvious that, it's a product that people want to see, people are invested in. And I think it's great when you think about the overall picture for the wrestling industry. It's great because now you have two big entities that people can make money in. And also at the end of next year, when a lot of contracts come up, it's going to be interesting because you have two big entities that you can make money in, and you can be in front of a large crowd. And there's that. And of course, for the international wrestling market, they have two big, because WWE runs, Europe and England once or twice a year. AEW's never been internationally outside of Canada recently. So that's a big thing for just the whole globe of wrestling. And it puts AEW in a spot to be a worldwide recognized wrestling entity, because they've only been in the States, really. And WWE,
they've never been to Japan yet?
Well, AEW?
Yeah, they've never been to Japan yet?
No.
Oh, no. They only had that Forbidden Door show with Japan guys coming over. Yeah,
that was here in that was Chicago. But it's a big deal, and I'm excited for it. So I'll see, we'll see how that AEW program is going to be very interesting this summer, building up to this show and Forbidden Door too. So that's pretty cool. So, and with CM Punk and everything like that. So that's cool. I'm excited. Next thing I want to get your thoughts on is the WWE draft. They're doing the draft again this year.
Again. Yeah.
And the last year before they did this, everyone just kind of went everywhere. There was no real draft. I don't know. What are your thoughts on WWE bringing back the draft? You think it's a good idea or what?
Well, I think you kind of just said what I think about the draft because, like in the beginning, right? It's always like, oh yeah, everyone's going to different places, and then eventually everyone gets meddled together. Like again, like you know, what I mean, part of me, I'm not trying to sound too negative, but I feel like part of me kind of feels like they do this draft thing to get attention and like you know to be like you know like to as a way to change things up, but they never commit to it. Like you know what I mean? Like everyone eventually just goes everywhere.
Yeah,
Like
I mean, yeah, your skepticism is warranted. Because the last like 15 years or so, it hasn't
the last
taken.
15 years.
Yeah, I mean, the last 20 years
Yeah.
they've been doing a draft. I mean, when they did the first time around in 2002, it stuck a little bit. When they did it again, they did it in 2004, it stuck a little bit. I mean, the famous one, they talked about it on TV. Triple H drafted the SmackDown, didn't actually go to SmackDown, we just went back to Raw. But most of it stuck. And then people jumped in between that summer after they did that. In 2005, they did a draft lottery again, and it kind of stuck a little bit. You know, moving John Cena to Raw because he was becoming the guy, and then putting Batista on SmackDown because he was becoming the guy as well. So that was cool. You made 2 stars, and now they're represented on each show. You see a star on each show. That's cool. But everything after that, it was just kind of no one really cared anymore because they stopped doing They started doing when they first did the draft. A year later, they did separate pay-per-views like Raw and SmackDown, and then they brought it back like in 2016 when they did another draft, and that was a disaster.
I can't even keep track of it all anymore. They've done this so many damn times.
Yeah, so now it's like it's hard to trust if they're gonna, you know, to keep it intact. And the title situation is weird because Roman has 2 titles and he's on one show, but like Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens, they're the unified tag champions, and apparently they can float to 2 shows.
I
It's
mean,
kind
that
of
kind of
money.
makes sense, I guess, but like
It does, but it's weird because Roman is on one show, but they have a new title.
they have a third world title.
It's a little confusing right
How are
now.
we supposed to I said this before, I feel like, but like I've told you this at least. Whoever's fighting for this world title, this new quote unquote world title, even though one of the titles Roman's is the world champion, but whoever's fighting for this new world title, they're fighting for third place. Like you're fighting for a brass ring. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? That's just how I view it because Roman has first and second place. He has the 2 world titles. Like if they're gonna bring in a new world title belt, do a thing where Roman unifies them and then takes the 1 belt. Why do you have to make a third world title? Like
I don't know. I think it's a little convoluted because with the women, right? The women's champions, they switched them. So Rhea was drafted to
that stupid thing where they all stand in the ring like idiots and like, hey, you take my belt and I take your belt. And
why do they got to do that? Like,
oh, you remember how that went last time with like Becky and Charlotte in them?
that was horrible. That was
Jesus.
horrible. Yeah, they kind of went into business for themselves, and it was a stupid idea. It was dumb. But
Yeah.
this time around, it's like, what's the point of switching them? Like, why don't you just keep the champions where they are and move other people who aren't champions?
Or you can unify them because like the tag belts are unified. Roman sort of already has 2 world titles. Just unify the women's titles. That's a pay-per-view match right there. You can build. Like,
yeah, I don't know. I don't know what to make of this thing, but I don't know. I like the draft show that they did. I thought it was really good. You know, the first one I saw, it was a SmackDown, and they had like, you know, it was like they were showcasing people. Okay, like watch SmackDown for these people. You know, they had they had the Street Profits. They were drafted to SmackDown. They had a nice little showcase match. I thought it was great. They were basically saying, hey, these guys are on SmackDown. You want to see Street Profits? Watch SmackDown every week. I thought it was a great idea. I thought it was good on Law. They did the Bianca interview. She's on, she's doing some press thing for WWE. I forgot what country she was in. Did a nice little interview with her telling, her saying, I'm on SmackDown and watch out. And that was cool. But again, I'm a little skeptical too because watch in August, we're gonna see people just bounce around. You'll see AJ Styles on
Well,
Raw and or
they're gonna
whatever.
get bored eventually and be like, you know what, fuck this draft thing.
Yeah,
That it happens all the time. They're
yeah. I
gonna
don't
run
know. It's
out
gonna.
of ideas.
I'm willing to see it play out, but I just think they gotta iron out the title situation because it's a little bit disjointed. But all in all, I'm willing to see it play out because I was really impressed with the draft show because usually the draft shows aren't great. There's been some good ones in the past, like 2004, that was a good one. 2005, it wasn't just a draft show. It was like every week someone new might pop in. You don't know who. I actually like that. That was cool. But they stuck to it, which also made it better in a way. But anyway, let's move on to Backlash. Any other thoughts on the draft before we move on to Backlash?
No.
Okay, all right.
No.
Backlash in
No.
Puerto Rico. Backlash in Puerto Rico. All in all, good show. Wouldn't you agree?
It was pretty good. I only skipped because I only skipped Seth and Almost because I love Seth, but I don't really want to see Almost. And like I kind of only caught the end of the 6-man, but oh my, Rhea and Zelina was really good just because like the reaction Zelina got, and like it's definitely I've never really been always a fan of Zelina Vega, but this match was great with Rhea. The opening match, Bianca and Io, was insane. That was insane. That was awesome. Freaking Lesnar and Cody was great, and Bad Bunny and Damien Priest was very fun. That was really good.
Yeah, let's start with Bianca and Io. I thought just overall fantastic match. Really great storytelling and really good athleticism. They did it. They've been doing a great job of showcasing Bianca's strength and how strong she is. And I liked how Io was like working her arm most of the match, and Bianca was selling it. But it definitely that her selling her arm, and she was doing the things she was doing. She was lifting Io up with one arm, and it showed her storytelling ability, her psychology, and also how fucking strong she is. So overall, I thought it was it was so fantastic. But the crowd was very into Io. I don't know if you noticed, like they were
Yeah, no, I
really
did notice
into it.
that. Yeah,
Yeah, it was crazy.
Bianca had to try not to play heel in this match because like she like, it kind of reminded me of when John Cena wrestled Sami Zayn on Raw when Sami Zayn made his Raw debut. They were both baby faces clearly, but every time John Cena slammed Sami Zayn, everyone booed because they wanted to root for Sami.
Yeah.
Like, and John Cena sort of played into that, but like not too much. But they were still hot for both people, but they clearly Io was on the love for Io was on fire. Like
Yeah. A lot of great chain wrestling too throughout the whole thing. Very good transitions between moves. I thought it was great. It was
no,
overall really
like
good.
I say, like Io Shirai obviously is known for like her amazing moonsault, but like people tend to forget that she's also like as good as Asuka. Like she's good. Io Shirai is very good.
Yeah,
Like
super athletic too. Like she was a high flyer, and Bianca was I'll pick you up and slam you, and I'll pick you up from anywhere. Fantastic,
yeah,
good stuff. The one I don't know if you noticed this or pay attention to it, but I did. It definitely stuck out to me. But there was a backstage segment between Rey Mysterio, Bad Bunny, and Savio Vega.
oh,
It
I did
was
see that. I did see that. And you want to know something funny?
yeah,
Peacock, right? Their subtitles worked fine, but then when I put on the subtitles for that, all it said was speaking Spanish.
you see what stood out to me was that when I watched it live, that there was no subtitles at all. I didn't turn it on. They just did an entire interview in Spanish.
No, that was amazing. It was amazing. I loved it.
I've never seen that before on WWE programming. I've never seen it. So
They
the
probably
fact
had
that
to
they did
blindfold Vince. Like I can't believe that was allowed to happen.
a whole interview in another language, and it was great. It was like you you go on YouTube and you watch like international matches. You watch an All Japan Women match. You watch the men's All Japan stuff, and you see a backstage interview with Misawa or Minami Toyota, and it's in Japanese. You
Yeah.
don't know what they're saying, but to me it doesn't matter because wrestling is a universal language, so it doesn't matter what language is spoken as long as wrestling is happening. It's cool, but it was brief, but like you kind of figure out what was going on. They were just kind of all rallying behind Bad Bunny and everything, and it was really cool. Savio Vega gave him a kendo stick with the Puerto Rican flag on it, and it was a beautiful moment.
No, that was
I thought
cool.
it was such a great moment. I thought it was so cool.
I kind of criticized. Remember when the Hell in the Cell in WrestleMania he had the colored kendo sticks, and that kind of looked goofy. But that Puerto Rican flag on the kendo stick looked really cool.
Awesome. Yeah, Bad Bunny should hang it up in his house or something like that. He should keep it.
Probably. If it's not broken.
Yeah. The times that he broke it over Damien Priest's back, which we'll get to. SmackDown Women's title. Zelina Vega and Rhea. I thought this was like Zelina Vega's best performance I've ever seen. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, no, easily. You see, you brought up the titles. I enjoyed both of the women's matches so much, I forgot they were fighting for titles because I was just so into the story of the match. You know what I mean?
The titles are a part of the story of the match.
Well, yeah, no, of course, no, but I was just like enjoying like the story so much. Like by the end of it, like, oh wait, that's right, this was a title match. I was just so into like everything they were doing. Like it was really, yeah, that match was great. That was easily the best Zelina Vega match I've ever seen. Rhea Ripley's good. We know Rhea Ripley's good, but like, oh my god, like the ovations, Zelina Vega.
Oh man, it was nuts.
Jesus, it's almost like she became a different wrestler. You know what I mean? Like most of what we've seen from her on her own was just like, she would be like this antagonizing heel who was supposed to be the annoying heel and stuff, like the annoying little twerp. But this was not. She was like full underdog babyface here. It was excellent. Even when she lost, she didn't look like an. They gave her a standing ovation and gave her. And mind you, I usually get annoyed at some when people do the same chants. The Spanish chants they were doing for her were beautiful.
Oh my god,
I loved it.
The crowd was just. It's not because I think it was like organic. You know what I mean? Like they were really into because wrestling in Puerto Rico is huge, but like they loved what WWE was giving to them. Like they loved it. They loved most of the people there that were stars here were also stars there, and WWE hasn't been there in almost 20 years, so there's that. And also, they just cared about. They saw themselves. You had Bad Bunny as Zelina Vega, Damien Priest. They saw themselves in the ring. There was representation. There was tons of representation.
It was the least amount of white people I've ever seen in a WWE show.
That was beautiful. It was beautiful.
Oh my god!
Zelina's family was by ringside, and
yeah, that was crazy.
You know what? Rhea was really good. She was outstanding as a heel.
Yeah,
like she really turned it up to 10. She was just phenomenal. And Zelina was great. And she came out with the Puerto Rican flag. And
that was so ill. I love that.
Yeah, I mean, the last time we saw her, at the Royal Rumble, I think was it the Royal Rumble where she came out dressed as a Street Fighter character or whatever, and I was I didn't really care about that. But if she always came out repping, her joining the LWO is like the best thing for her.
She's in the LWO, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she's in it. So that's good. That's good for her to be in touch with your culture, and just really show people who Zelina Vega really is.
As long as you don't do what you did to the Mexicools, then you'll be fine.
It's already leagues. It's not even like that. Like the LWO stuff I've seen.
As you avoid that,
it's not that. It's no stereotypes.
No gardening.
No stereotypes were here. And the thing is, every Puerto Rican wrestler that was on the show were completely different. It's showing us that we're not monoliths. And it was beautiful. It was so beautiful. This match and this whole show and this next match, man, San Juan Street Fight, Bad Bunny, Damien Priest. Where do I even begin? You go first. Like, tell me your thoughts about this. This was just unbelievable.
This was great. No, you remember how like Dean Ambrose came out with the wagon of when Dean Ambrose faced Brock Lesnar in that street fight, he came out with the wagon of weapons, and it was supposed to look goofy and funny. When Bad Bunny came out with and like he had the shopping cart full of stuff, that was great. Everyone popped for that. Like, and I love, what's amazing? How you forget, I think the song he comes out to is called Booker T.
No, it's Chambea.
It's not like, but doesn't Bad Bunny have a song called Booker T?
He has a song called Booker T, yeah. But this one's Chambea.
He should use that. But yeah, nah, man, this was great. This is so cool. And also, I'm not always the biggest Damien Priest fan, but I usually busy complaining about his silly name. But he was great here. Like
tremendous.
And what's crazy? Blew my mind? The fact that a match actually finished with well, I should say Puerto Rican destroyer. We usually see the flip pile driver as like, oh, I'm gonna do this as a form of a slap. I'm just gonna do it and do it 3 more times. And this finished a match. Like, when was the last time that happened?
Yeah, there was well, you know, it hasn't been a finish for 16 years.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, just like the DDT, you know, it's
yeah.
hasn't been a finish for 30 years. But this match was outstanding for just all aspects of wrestling, from the crowd reactions to the people involved. When Bad Bunny walked out and Chambea was playing, and the whole crowd was singing along to it. They knew every fucking word.
Yeah.
It was, I mean, I had goosebumps. I'm like, this is wonderful to see. This is just like their superhero has arrived. It was crazy. It was like straight out of a comic book. It was nuts. And Bad Bunny's performance was just, yeah, he wasn't Misawa, he wasn't Kobashi, he wasn't Bryan Danielson.
No.
He wasn't that. And it was a street fight, you know, and not everything he did looked smooth, but it didn't need to.
Yeah, there was that one like he did that that one I forgot what that name of that move is. He did one move off the top. It was sort of like a reverse DDT on the Damien Priest, and
yeah,
he landed on his head. I thought they showed it from another angle, and it wasn't as bad as I thought, but it could have been horrible.
Some of the things they did, I mean, some of the things they did looked good. I thought some of the punch, like when they were going backstage, not backstage, they were going into the crowd.
Yeah,
yeah, like his punches looked pretty good. You know, his destroyer looks good. You know, his high crossbody plancha looked good. For someone who hasn't been wrestling that long, who doesn't wrestle that often, I thought he did a great job. And Damien was so good. He was so good.
That's the thing, Bad Bunny, he wasn't doing a lot of moves. He was actually fighting Damien Priest.
Yeah, my favorite was when he took the 2 trash can lids and like kablam.
Yeah, no, I adored that. It reminded me of when John Cena did that to that poor prick back in the day. You remember? Like he was facing like Carlito's
Jesus.
Yes. Yeah, it reminded me of that.
Yeah.
Like, you know, the thing is, like, with Logan Paul, right? Like, you know, he's a YouTuber trying to prove he's a wrestler. So he does a bunch of moves. He might do them well sometimes. He does a bunch of moves. Bad Bunny was trying to work. He was working. He was fighting Damien Priest.
He was working.
He was trying to work. He was trying to sell. He was trying to, like, not that Logan Paul doesn't sell, but like my point is, it wasn't centered around, oh, look, you see all those moves Bad Bunny did? Like, it wasn't about that.
No,
like,
it was a street fight. It was San Juan Street. And I'm glad you brought that up. There was a lot of drama here. You know, Bad Bunny did a great job selling a lot of things, and Damien Priest was just on fire. You know, he was antagonizing the crowd. Wow. It was
came up like a star.
He came across both of them, which is phenomenal. But yeah, like Bad Bunny was the superhero here. The show was built around him. Yeah.
It made me also think, man, I really wish Damien Priest still had the name Punishment Martinez, man. That's like we're Spanish, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, it is. It's a lot more Latino. But
yes.
What'd you think of the big LWO run-in that happened towards the end?
I mean, people were really into Savio Vega, but I know it was fine. It was cool. It was pretty cool. Carlito came in like and like he looked great. Like, you know,
yeah, he was in great shape. He looked phenomenal.
He was like I remember when one of the last times we saw him, he had a lot more muscle, but he looked a little more bulky, but he looked a lot more comfortable here. He just looked a lot like, you know, he's looked very comfortable, and
he was in the best shape I've ever seen him in.
Yeah, and plus, like, you know, I know his gimmick wasn't always the most,
you know, the apple spitting, or
it wasn't always the most, fun to watch always, even though it was supposed to be funny, but it worked here. Everyone was into everything. Everyone was just happy to see him. Everyone was just happy to, yeah.
If I'm gonna, you know, if I'm gonna be critical of this match, I will say, if they chopped it down to like 5-10 minutes shorter.
Yeah.
But listen, like, this is the biggest star of the night, right? So I guess they were just giving people what they wanted, because they loved him. They loved Bad Bunny. And I thought it was really good, but the run-in maybe could have been shortened a little bit. You didn't need every LWO member. You know, you didn't need everyone. You know, you could
Yeah.
have had you could have Savio there, Carlito, maybe Rey Mysterio, maybe Dominic, or Carlito was in there. You know, that was cool and everything like that. But you didn't need everybody from the LWO to come out. But other than that, this was tremendous. I would go out of my way to see this if you haven't seen it. It was so entertaining. And I watched it twice. I went back and watched it. I was like, this is
It's a good showing for Bad Bunny.
great showing for Bad Bunny. Yeah,
he
absolutely.
Looked great here. He really did.
Let's talk about the six man, Bloodline versus Sami Zayn, KO, and Matt Riddle.
Yeah, like I said, I only caught like kind of the end of this because I really just wanted to get to Lesnar and Cody because I honestly today I saw Guardians with Richard and then I literally came here to watch Backlash, so I kind of like skipped a little bit of that, but the ending was great and I did like I can see there's a lot of more tension going on in the Bloodline. Like freaking Solo almost tried to kill Jay. Jay was like, "What the fuck are you doing? what the fuck?" Like, and I guess Jimmy didn't see that. You know,
yeah, this was it's not really much to say about this. It's just story heavy, just focusing on the tension between the Bloodline. And I like the finish, actually. Solo pinning Riddle, because I think Riddle was there to just eat the pin. To protect Sami Zayn and Kevin. Yeah. So make Solo look strong. And that's great. You know, they're setting up the future. Solo has a lot of potential. And the Usos are just outstanding. They're just incredible. Yeah. Like, what do you say? And Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens thing as champions, like, this is perfect. This is perfect. You know, they are the guys for this. They are phenomenal. I'm so glad that WWE is putting a lot of weight behind these guys.
You know, part of me feels like, you know, I feel because you told me that the Usos and Sami and Kevin had a rematch on the draft show, right?
They did, and it was outstanding.
Yeah, I feel like that match should have been on this card, and the 6-man should have been on Raw.
Yeah,
that's what I feel like.
I would agree.
That's what I feel like because this is more of a Raw match. Like, and it's not just because I don't really care much for Riddle. It was only because on a big show, on a really cool show like this, Sami Zayn and Kevin versus the Usos would have just added to this. Like, I thought that would have contributed more than a 6-man. I don't know.
Yeah. Main event time. Cody versus Brock.
This was awesome. Jesus Christ. When Brock caught Cody from the Cody, he went for that kick he does off the ropes, and then Brock caught him on the third time. And then it begun. And God, he beat the Christ out of Cody.
He beat the daylights out of this poor prick.
He beat the AEW executive out of Cody.
Yeah, he beat the EVP out of him. Yeah.
Oh my God. Someone probably told him, listen, he came from AEW. Make him suffer, you know? Make him work.
Yeah. Oh, man. This was a bloodbath. This is a wonderful bloodbath.
Oh my God. But Brock cut himself hard way in that turnbuckle.
Yeah, Brock is crazy.
He's insane.
In the best way. When you talk about, okay, I'm the bad guy. Okay. All right. You're gonna see. I'm gonna be nuts, and that's what I'm not gonna
be funny anymore. I'm leaving the cowboy hat at home.
I was watching the show. I'm like, somebody call the authorities. There's a madman on the loose. That's how I felt.
He was trying to kill Cody. Why?
Don't you feel a little bit uncomfortable?
Why he was mad at Cody? He never explained it.
Because he's Brock. He's crazy. He's crazy. Why did he punch John Cena in the face when he returned? Because he's crazy. He's crazy.
Well, John Cena did get in his face. That was I understood that, but like, why he
shook his hand. John Cena shook his hand. He's like, "Welcome back," and then Brock went crazy. He killed him.
Yeah. No. Like John Cena smacked him, and then Brock tackled him. Remember?
No, he shook his hand when Brock returned. He reached out his hand. And then Brock shook his hand, and then Brock just picked him up from F5 and
no, you're right. It was a week later that okay, never mind. Yeah, you're right. But like, why did he attack? Like he like okay after WrestleMania, right? They were gonna tag team, and then Brock killed him, and he never explained why. He never explained, you know, I guess he left all of that to Paul Heyman. Paul Heyman's the bloodline, so he has no one to explain his actions.
Paul Heyman was like, "Relax, Brock. You get paid to kill a guy." Now he doesn't have Paul. He just goes off the rails. He goes off.
And there's no explanation.
No. So this was the pure bloodbath. Like, it was brutal. It was a Puerto Rican bloodbath. It was like Abdul the Butcher and Bruiser Brody. I mean, it wasn't that bloody, but it was violent. You know, like Cody when you look up babyface fire in the dictionary, he's got that.
Yeah.
He lost his mind. He's like, "You're gonna jump me?" So he went great. Cody
So
went
he
crazy
literally
too.
jumped him. He literally jumped.
He didn't waste no fucking time. Oh, this was perfect. This is it. Like, this is how you do, because you don't always need a 35-minute main event. You don't. I don't know how long this match, but it probably didn't go longer.
This was about a little under a half an hour. If you include the entrances.
Yeah, it didn't feel that long, but yeah. Oh, let's talk about the entrance. Like, okay, they love Brock, but they started booing him right after the initial, "Oh, that's Brock Lesnar. Oh, wait, he's a prick." And they started booing him. It was great. Right. Yeah. But it was the kind of booing you want. It was the money-making boo. But then when Cody came out, he got money-making babyface cheers. There's only two people. Maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong. Maybe you heard others. There was two people that the crowd was like singing along to the three people. Seth Rollins, Bad Bunny, of course, and Cody.
Yeah.
They were singing along to the theme song, which was really cool. Cody got a really good babyface reaction. You saw his coat. He had the Puerto Rican flag on it.
Oh, he did. No. Yeah, you want to know why I didn't notice? Because usually his coat is always like red, white, and blue.
It was red, white, and blue this time, but it had the Puerto Rican flag.
Yeah, exactly. I didn't notice that little detail. That's kind of cool. That's sweet of him.
Yeah. What'd you think of the finish?
Oh, the finish was a wrestling finish. He pinned him.
That's what I thought.
It was either okay, Brock is gonna tear my arm off and eat it and beat me with it. So okay, before that can happen, let me pin him while his shoulders are on the mat. It was because Cody likes to go down to the mat a lot, and it was and Brock didn't expect him to do that. It was Didn't Brock kill him the night after or something? Didn't he kill him on? I didn't see it, but I saw a picture of him holding Cody's head and beating him up and with the microphone.
Yeah, I saw that too. I thought the idea that like Brock, you're not gonna wear down Brock because he's a machine. The only way you're gonna get him is if you legitimately try to out wrestle him, because Brock is focusing on, I'm gonna kill this guy. But I don't think he expected Cody to catch a second, third win, and while he's in a Kimura, he somehow gets his show. He gets him for the 3 count. He shifts his weight and he pins him for 3 seconds. Yeah. I'm like, Cody he kind of outsmarted him a little bit, and I thought that was.
I like this better than Brock getting himself disqualified in a match with Bobby Lashley.
Oh yeah, that would have been
this was a definitive end, and Brock was pissed because he was like, "What the fuck?"
That's a good point. They could have went the DQ route here. They could have, because they're setting up another match between these two. They could have went the DQ route, but the crowd would have shit themselves, not in a good way. They would have thrown shit, probably maybe, but they would have lost their mind. Oh my god! But all in all, this was a really good show.
Yeah, it was.
It was a really good show.
I kind of felt bad because, like I told you, I was only going to watch a few matches, but even with the matches that I only watched, I only skipped 1.5 matches.
Mm-hmm.
Like I didn't realize how I thought it was going to be 4 hours, and then it was like only 3 hours. But I still was able to get through the whole show. Like, oh shit! Like the whole show was 90% of the show was amazing.
Yeah.
This is awesome.
I think this probably, of all the celebrity matches I've watched and I've enjoyed, I really like Big Show and Floyd Mayweather from WrestleMania 24, but this is probably my favorite right now. Bad Bunny and Damien Priest, like this is probably my favorite one right now. I have to think about others. But this is probably my favorite one right now.
I mean, I can't think of any better. I mean, Snoop Dogg was great for different reasons.
Yeah, for many different reasons.
This was like actually, oh wow, this guy actually like.
You know what I like? I like the Shaq,
Shaq Cody,
Shaq and Jade Cargill and Cody and Red Velvet match they had on Dynamite. Actually, I like that. I thought that was good.
It did look kind of funny when Cody was trying to wrestle Shaq because Shaq is gigantic.
Yeah. But this was probably my favorite celebrity match: Bad Bunny and Damien Priest.
Yeah, because I forgot it was a celebrity match.
Yeah, if they put this on a DVD, I'd buy it.
Like this. I mean, not to be pouty about it, but like, this felt like lightning in a bottle. Like, I don't know if Vince is going to capitalize on the momentum that Zelina has. I don't think so. But this was if worst comes to worst, people are going to remember this moment.
Yeah. Like Evolution.
What are you saying?
Evolution.
Oh,
That was
if
like
they
that was
fucking bring
lightning in the
back
bottle.
Evolution, are they bringing back Evolution?
I don't think so. Not right now. Maybe we'll see.
But
But
you know what they are bringing back though? Saudi Arabia.
oh well, no, they have 10 years. That's like a 10. That's a massive deal. That's another thing. But with this show, the LWO is hot. Like the LWO shirts are selling like crazy, and it's not to me like the LWO is not just nostalgia. It's like it feels like it's its own unique. It's like it's another chapter of what the LWO was, and it's a continuation. That's what it feels
It's
like to
more
me.
defined too. It's more like it. Like there's no stereotypes here.
No, not at all. Not at
No,
all. I think it's
not
great.
yet.
Yeah.
Not yet. But like no, as of right now, I haven't seen any stereotypes. I mean, I guess there was the thing with the slipper.
Oh, the chancleta. Oh, that was like okay. That was kind of for that crowd. For Puerto Rico, that works.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, like you maybe could have done without that, but
I could have done without that.
Yeah, they could have. Like, come on,
But
guys.
it got a nice reaction.
Michael Cole, you know what annoyed me because Michael Cole, poor Michael Cole, he had to say, "Hey, you Puerto Ricans know what this is about." I'm like, "Fuck you." But the thing is, like, Vince was probably in his ears, like, talk about the flipper, talk about it, damn it. Jesus Christ, yeah, they could have done without that, but like everything else was pretty damn good.
Yeah. All in all, this was a really good show. But yeah, we're gonna wrap it up. I'm Peter A.
I'm Smiley Ariaga, everybody.
And you can follow the Wrestling Caucus Facebook, the Wrestling Caucus, Instagram at the Wrestling Caucus, Twitter, Wrestling Caucus. All right. We'll be back for AEW, Double or Nothing, and whatever else, whatever wild things come up in this wild world of pro wrestling. All right. Later days.